gremlins. I'm just kidding, it's not how you say the name of the star, but it's not too far off given the natures and the influence that the star actually brings. So, Grumium. It's a very weird name for a star, but nonetheless, it's in the Draco constellation, so we're going to talk about this little deceitful little gremlin and give you the understanding of what it means to have this placed in your chart. So without any further ado, Grumium, also known as Draconis. This star has also gone by Nodus Prime in the past. However, considering the fact that it's the tongue of the dragon or underjaw of the dragon, it doesn't really have anything to do with the coils of Draco, which is what Nodus means. So, Nodus Prime, big whoop. Gremlin. Gremlin star. That's what we're calling this from now on. Get rid of the name Grumium. We're gremlins, okay? It's a gremlin. Little lying, deceitful little bastard. But is it going to be fortunate, unfortunate, deceitful, not deceitful? I don't know. Liar! Stick around to find out. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Moon Days with Michael. I'm your host, the Raw Triangle Michael, and I am cutting out the esoteric middleman and giving you the tools you need to connect yourself right to the source. Now, with that being said, Grumium, the little gremlin of the Draco constellation, you guys know the deal. We're talking about the star's placement, its orb, its natures, its influences, its fortune, and giving you the general understanding of what it means to have this placed in your chart. So, with that being said, this little gremlin of a star, it's a rough one, don't get me wrong. So, usually I wait to the end of these videos to talk about its fortune, but we're going to start with that. Its fortune. This star is terrible, 100%. Just leave it alone. It will lead to loss, people being angry with you being angry with other people. This influence is not a very kind one, but let's actually talk about its influences. Grumium, this star, the mouth of the dragon, can be found in 2450 degrees of Sagittarius with an orb of 1. This star has the nature of Mars and Mercury. Why do I call this little lying, deceitful little gremlin of a star? Well, because it kind of is. This star's influences are very violent, very aggressive. It can be quite vicious, arrogant, self-centered, and impulsive. Why am I saying this? That comes into its physical placement. This star, with it being placed as the underjaw of Draco, it has also been referred to as the darted tongue of the dragon. Now, would you trust a being or an influence that has a darted tongue? I ain't really think so. A lot of stars' influences kind of depend on how you use them. However, this star is very aggressive and very violent, as well as very just deceitful in general. There's a reason why it's the tongue of the Draco constellation. It will lie, it will do whatever it has to deceive you into actually getting what it wants. I need it! It'll be vicious, it'll turn on you. This energy has no remorse as long as it gets what it wants. And this is why I say it is so unfortunate. Because hey, doing whatever you want to get whatever you want, okay, cool. However, that leads to a lot of loss. No one's really going to want to hang around someone when they never know when they could stab them in the back, when they're lying to them, when they're trying to deceive them, and you really don't want to enter into an esoteric contract with that energy being placed. So, this star has the nature of Mars and Mercury for a reason. Obviously, the Mercury aspect. It represents the tongue of the Draco constellation, communication. And with its Martian aspect, it's all about its own passions, its own motivations, what it wants to get, what it wants to receive, what it is going after. However, with this energy being very aggressive, deceitful, as well as just being negative in general, it will do whatever it has to do in order to get the things that it wants. Even if it has to shed its teeth on you and rip you to pieces, it'll do so. It might feel bad about it later, 10 years down the line, when it's like, damn, that was really messed up. It doesn't care at the moment. It's very impulsive. Now, this star isn't very bright, doesn't have a lot of attention. It's not Thuban or Rastaban or Etamid. It's not one of the eyes. It's not one of the main stars in the Draco constellation. And thankfully, because if people were paying attention to this star's energy and its influences, well, we might be in a different situation entirely, and definitely not a good one. Okay, procedure. There's a reason why I call this a little gremlin of a star. It's going to do whatever it can, go behind your back. You know, the whole, give me the ring, my precious. Precious. Do whatever it has to do to deceive you in order to getting what it wants. Now, with that being said, is there a way that you can use this in a positive way? Of course. However, you have to understand that by utilizing this energy, you're opening up a lot of negative influences to come at you. So if you're strong enough to hold that back and can just be a very strong communicator, then go for it. However, if this leads you into getting situations that you don't really want to be in, talking about things that you shouldn't have talked about, lying to people you don't want to lie to, well, don't say I didn't warn you. So all in all, back to its fortune, I wouldn't suggest it. It's not a very fun star to use. It's not a very fun energy to actually be utilizing unless you're really into the negative, deceitful, and lying aspect to get whatever you want. And not to mention all the aggressive and violent natures that come along with it. Because hey, you start turning your teeth on a bunch of people, swords are coming at you either way. We shall recap. This star, Grumium, or the little gremlin of the Draco constellation, can be found in 2450 degrees of Sagittarius with an orb of 1. Has the natures of Mars and Mercury. It's not very bright, doesn't have a lot of tension, and good for it because otherwise we'd be in a terrible place. This star is not very fortunate and will often leading you to your own self-destruction. It might lead you to be self-centered. You might think you're getting everything you want. But however, in reality, you're just pushing people away, lying to yourself, lying to everybody else. This star's influence is very violent, self-centered, destructive, aggressive, deceitful, vicious, impulsive, and at the end of the day, you really don't want to be using it. Now, if you choose to, that's on you. So yeah, it's a very good thing this star doesn't have a lot of attention, a lot of praise, any temples built to it, because otherwise it might not end so good for the people utilizing this energy, or the people who end up on the receiving side of this energy, because they're going to be like, man, why are you being such a dick right now? That's pretty much it. The least fortunate star in the Draco constellation, Grumium. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys want us to talk about next. We're more than happy to get around to it. And in the next time of the Draco constellation, we're going to be talking about some star, because I have like 10 of these left to do. I don't know, something like that. But anyways, until next time, fly high, y'all.